And from Taste the Tops, it's George Lindblom with DrinkinAZ. All right, guys, we have the Brain Trust sitting here at the table. From my left here, we've got Adam.
Howdy.
We got the Czar.
Hello.
We got Duncan.
Hey.
And we got Dylan DeMiguel from Cartel Coffee.
Good to be here.
And Cartel Brewing. Yes. So what we were talking about here right before we came on was the whole kind of thing that transpired with the calling out of Badwater Brewing. And what is the role of a show, of a media outlet, as far as is it our job to call out bad product, if indeed it was bad product? And I said I think it was a little bit weak of Zach Fowle of the New Times, and I want to have him on maybe as a guest host sometime.
Yeah.
To call their beer insipid. That seemed a little bit subjective.
I guess.
Yeah, because if we're going to say something's good or bad, we should probably take it like a BJCP judge would and take it back to why it's bad.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
diacetyl.
Right. Give some reason, give some constructive feedback on how they can improve.
He did say it was thin. I think he said it was, if I may be misquoting, but I think he said it was thin, insipid, and lifeless.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, for what he said, I'm not.
And I want to reach out to the owner of Badwater Brewing as well. And
where is Badwater?
They're in Scottsdale.
Yeah, they're contract brewed though.
Are they contract brewed?
I believe so. Or
by whom?
They are current. I think last I heard was Nimbus. There was
really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay.
So I mean, who's responsible for how Badwater is?
If a beer is contract brewed and the beer's not good, then it should fall on the person who put the recipe together.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I imagine that whoever wrote the recipe, the contract is just doing what they're told.
Sure.
I did not know they were contract brewed.
Yeah, I believe that Badwater. I believe that was. I was reading that they just recently. I think it was Chuck Noll was talking on one of the, and he said that they're now being brewed by. I believe he said Nimbus, but I could be wrong. So don't quote me on that.
And last week we had Prison Hill Brewing on, and they actually, the brewer that was in here speaking for them has background with Nimbus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So a little connection there.
Oh.
Right.
So what were you saying, Adam? You were kind of sparked the conversation there.
Well, no, I mean, I think there's definitely a useful there's a place for the type of journalism, if you want to call that or feedback that an outside source can provide, like Zach did with Badwater. That's fine. But I know, we here at DrinkinAZ, I think, one of the main goals is to see craft, not only brewing, but liquor, wine,
spirits, right?
We want to see that thrive here in Arizona too. Now, it's important to give that type of feedback.
Can it thrive without criticism?
Well, sure it can. I mean, I think, but I think there's a way to. I don't know. I guess I feel like we may not take that route, and that may be something that you choose. We want to change our focus on. Depending on what people really want to hear.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. Finish your thought, and then I'll tell you what I think we're going to be doing.
Because I think that giving an honest opinion about what's really going on with someone's beer will either push them to make those changes and make them better, or sometimes those those articles could in fact give just the wrong impression of that brewing company in general, and not give it the room to thrive and grow anyway.
Right.
So
it's a double-edged sword, because you want people to be honest, but at the same time you don't want to see a baby get cut off at their knees.
Well, and the way that I think about it is that the consumer will make that choice of whether or not that brewery exists or not, right? Because if they're not making a good beer, a beer that people want to drink and continue to drink, then they're not going to be able to sell their product.
Right.
So you don't need someone giving their opinion about that, because, like you said, it can be very subjective. One person might really like this beer, and then one person might say it's insipid.
And there's breweries out there that have in our neighborhood that have bad reputations. A few of them.
Sure.
And we've talked about having them on.
And do we play a role in helping them improve that look and tell them the things that maybe they want to look at to fix that, so that the craft scene can thrive?
But do they want to hear
it? Or do we want to just beat them down?
Right. Do they want to hear it? I don't want to beat anybody down.
Right.
And it makes me uncomfortable,
Sure.
If we have
we're not experts either, right? I mean, I don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself a fan.
I'm an apprentice.
Okay, so
Yes.
maybe you'd be more qualified,
An
to,
apprentice. Well,
to give.
So here's the thing. My take on this and what I want DrinkinAZ to do is with the help of Dennis Mitchell, and I reached out to him already and a few times, and he's open to helping us with this. If you guys know Dennis Mitchell, the vice president of ASH, he's also nationally recognized beer judge. I believe he's the highest rated beer judge in the state.
Yeah.
And he's a friend of the show.
And has won some awards himself, too.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, I mean, I'd say he's an expert.
He's an expert.
Sure.
And what I want to do is I want to have DrinkinAZ, and this may take a while. We may not be able to do it all in one weekend or whatever, but I want to have DrinkinAZ do ratings, reviews of all of the flagship beer of every brewery in Arizona that we can possibly get a sample of. And what we'll do is we will send a letter to all the breweries letting them know, okay, this is your designated flagship beer. For instance, Four Peaks. We'll send a letter to Four Peaks, and we'll let them know we're going to either you can give us samples, or we're going to randomly purchase this off the shelf just like any other consumer would. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have, under the guidance of Dennis Mitchell, we're going to evaluate it, and we're going to have people with credentials. Issa here from Taste the Tops.
Yep.
People that have credentials, certified cicerones and beer judges, get more than one opinion on each one of these beers. We're going to score them out, and then we're going to put that on our website and it'll be like a guide. DrinkinAZ's guide to the best beer in Arizona. They are the breweries are the ones who say this is our flagship.
Right.
So they're willing to hang their hat on that one beer.
Sure.
And we're going to evaluate them for their flagship and put that out there.
Right.
And, that'll be one thing that we're going to be doing here coming up.
Well, because I think that'd be great, because I think that would encourage breweries to improve, make adjustments if they need to. It's okay to make a bad beer in my eyes. It's fine to make a bad beer every once in a while. You're only going to learn from that experiment.
And the thing is that we don't. And I thought about this. And first, when I thought about it, I thought, well, what if they don't all want to participate? But guess what? If they're selling their product,
they better want to.
So if they don't want to, I'm not trying to just score free beer here, although I love free beer. Everybody listening, we love free beer.
Right.
But, if they don't want to give us a sample of their beer in its pristine state, then we'll go next door 50 feet over to Taste the Tops, and we'll get it the way that it's distributed from here, or World of Beer, or any other outlet. So, and I have a feeling though, if we want to make this thing complete, we're going to have to somebody's going to have to drive up to Prescott and fill a growler.
A few growlers, yeah, because there's some obscure breweries up there. So that's a little something looking ahead. And I'd like to have Zach, if you're listening, you get a chance to listen to this. I do want to have Zach on, because I give him credit for having the nuts
for being the critical voice
to do that. I mean, that's the New Times.
Right.
That's what the New Times is all about.
Yeah,
they're edgy, right?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah. Sounds good.
So thanks for sharing with us, Adam.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, our technical director, Adam Wallace. All right, Beer Czar.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing excellent.
Enjoying.
Been a good week.
Enjoying Frozen?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
We had a little conversation on Facebook about Frozen, and poor Ken, the Beer Czar. How old are your kids?
I have 3 daughters, 12, 4, and 1.
You're a minority in a sorority.
Yep.
And
even my dog is a female.
Even your dog's a female.
I'm surrounded by females.
And so you've seen Frozen how many times?
Today? I've lost track.
Yeah, you made a statement on Facebook about how you're starting to find the plot holes and everything.
Yeah, I'm finding mistakes, plot holes, continuity errors. It makes watching it fun now, because I'm always looking for stuff that's wrong with it. So.
Yeah, and I found out, because I have a 7-year-old daughter, or she just turned 8. Happy birthday, Emma. She just turned 8 over the weekend. She has, I'm her body. When I'm not at work or I'm not doing this, I'm a bodyguard to an 8-year-old girl. You see what you have to look forward to, Dylan?
Lots.
When you have
lots
kids
to look forward to.
Yeah.
Well, what's that joke? It's if you have a boy, you only got one guy to look out for.
That's
if you have a girl, you got the rest of the world to look out for.
Right. All right. So let's take it back to beer. Ken,
Yes.
This has been a big week for the Valley with the whole Founders thing going on.
Exciting, yeah. Founders are released on yesterday, just yesterday.
Uh-huh. And tell me what you did.
I went over to World of Beer
Out
Gilbert.
czarring around.
I went to World of Beer Gilbert. Sat with Rob Hart, the Arizona beer sommelier.
Okay.
Had a glass of Founders, the KBS Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
That everybody's dying for.
If you haven't had a chance to try it, it's everything that I love about beer is in that beer.
So what's this beer all about? Because it's like 11%, right?
Yeah, it's 11%. It's with a chocolate coffee stout.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God! And it's 11%, but it drinks like a 6% porter. I mean, it's really very smooth. But it's just like I said, it's all of my favorite things about beer are in that beer. I really think it's probably the most perfect beer. I mean, that I've
really.
If I could only drink one beer for the rest of my life, if it could be KBS, it would.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, it might not. Like I said, as far as you talk about best beers and favorite beers. I don't know if it's the best beer. It's my favorite beer.
See, for me, really imperial stouts are good, but I have to have them with food or chocolate or something, some dessert, because I don't. To me, I get that winey note, and I get that pruny note to it.
That's why this. The KBS is just so ridiculously smooth. I
really,
mean, it's like velvety. It's just it is. It's one of the few, you can see all these overhyped beers all over the place. To me, it's one of the few beers that I've had that's hyped like that actually is, I think, worthy of the hype.
We did with our previous show, The Weekly Buzz with George and Phil. We did a stout competition or stout show. Mm-hmm. We had 8 different stouts, and we had the Velvet Merlin, and we had 1050, and I can't think of all the ones we had now. All these stouts, and we had 4 people, and we set it up in such a way that you didn't have to score it, really. Yeah. You put the glasses in order, best to worst. And you know what won? It was the Obsidian Stout.
Oh yeah,
out of
Deschutes?
Yeah, Deschutes Obsidian Stout. And then 1050 came in second, and a homebrew came in third.
Nice.
Yeah. And we had the Narwhal, and so maybe we should do another thing like that.
I'd be all for it. I love, especially Imperial Stouts. I think Imperial Stouts to me seem easier to drink than just a straight up stout.
Really?
To me, I don't know. Straight up stouts have this kind of harshness to them or something that I just kind of. I don't know.
The barleys?
I don't know. And I can't really put my finger on it, but the Imperial, that tends to kind of, I don't know, it smooths it out or something. I don't know, balances it or something, but I tend to lean more towards Imperial.
Here's my little trick, and Phil used to always make fun of me for this, but the thing that pairs well with Imperial Stout is Cocoa Puffs.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Get yourself like a Narwhal or a 1050 or a Cartel and a handful of Cocoa Puffs, and they go very well. All right, well, we've already burned through the first segment here, so we'll be right back with DrinkinAZ.
Hey, this is Dunk from the Dunk Tank. Did you know Tops Liquor has over 2,000 wines in stock from all over the world and over 2,000 spirits? There's huge selections of rum, tequila, scotch, vodka, you name it, they got it. And did I mention beer? Over 2,000 varieties of craft beer from Arizona and all over the world. So come next door to the Taste of Tops, where you can always find at least 25 very special beers on tap and hundreds of beers by the bottle. Come on down to Tops, and you'll never want to leave. That is, until your wife tells you to come home.
And we're back at Taste the Tops with DrinkinAZ. It's George Lindblom with the Beer Czar. How you doing, Czar?
I'm doing well, thanks.
All right. So you excited for our special guest we have today?
I am, actually. I don't know a lot about these guys. So.
Okay. So with us we have Dylan DeMiguel.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Director of Sales from Cartel Brewing. Well, let me get this right. Cartel Coffee Labs.
Yeah.
And Cartel Brewery.
Yeah. So same company, 2 separate entities. It's easier to do alcohol separate than coffee.
Right.
Separate the two, but
okay.
Same company, just 2 different products.
And I'm sure there's a lot of implications as far as health code and stuff like that go with that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Running 2 different processes at the same time.
Getting those 2 ideas to marry, under the government's eyes is a little bit more challenging.
Interesting.
which has helped us.
5 years in the making.
Yeah, well, 5 years in the making, whatever you want it to be.
Forgive me. Are you under the same roof? Both the brewery
so,
and the coffee shop?
What's cool is Taste of Tops is literally in our backyard. We're, University and Ash.
Stone's throw.
So,
literally. Okay.
You look like you got a good arm over there. You might be able to hit it with a baseball.
I played a little ball.
Oh, yeah. But, it's great to live in the neighborhood over here. I live just down the street, quarter mile to work. So 20-minute walk to and from if I want to walk in the nice weather.
So I'm going to back you up a little bit and tell us about Cartel.
So we started about 7 years ago. Single origin coffee roastery. Specializing in basically to the beer drinker craft coffee. Something that is totally unique and a little bit different than you're going to get anywhere else.
So if I were to go in there, I could get a glass of something from Kenya or something from Colombia or Belize. Well, I don't know. Belize? Do they have coffee in Belize?
Guatemala.
Guatemala?
Yeah, Guatemala is a good one.
Yeah. Ethiopia?
Yeah. So, all those countries
Sumatra.
you just said, oh, yeah.
For some reason, I've never liked Sumatran coffee. It's got a weird, what's the flavor that Sumatra's got going on that I don't like?
I'm not too sure.
Kind of like paint thinner. I don't know. That's like my uneducated way of...
I'm a Guatemalan fan, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny that there's definitely characteristics of coffee that certain flavors that follow parts of the world.
I like Icelandic coffee.
Good luck with that one.
It's very rare.
Yeah, I like Kroger's coffee.
Kroger's?
good stuff.
Right. Do you have any of that coffee that drops out of a cat's ass?
Kopi Luwak, is that what it's called? Or is that Luwak?
Oh, it's got to be called that if you said it. Kopi Luwak?
Kopi Luwak? We just ran out of that one.
The Palm Civet.
That shit ran real quick.
Yeah, literally.
Did you seriously have it?
No. No shit out of a cat's ass.
No shit out of a cat's ass, because
not today at least. Maybe tomorrow.
That's like it's expensive. That coffee.
Yeah.
I know there's a coffee shop in New York City. It's like $15 a cup for like a little cup.
Right.
So,
Most expensive cup of coffee in the
ridiculous.
world or whatever. Okay. Well, if we could do a whole coffee in AZ if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Because I love coffee.
Yeah. Be careful.
Yeah. But let's take it back to the beer and Cartel. So you guys, you walk into Cartel Coffee and you smell the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And but however, in the next room over, you've got a little
7-barrel.
7-barrel system.
Oh yeah. So it's pretty unique in the way that we have set it up over there, or the owners have set it up rather. It truly is. Ash, our location off of University and Ash is it's kind of our mecca, if you will. So all of our coffee is roasted there by Paul Hayworth and our secondary roaster Benza. And in the same facility we have our brewery. So Matt Johnson, our head brewer, and Chad McClelland, our the assistant brewer. They're in there every day, and it's our largest coffee shop. It's our most profitable coffee shop. And
where else do you have coffee shops?
So we, like you said, we have a little bit of presence in Tucson. We have two locations in Tucson, 4 locations up here in Phoenix.
Right.
So we have one in the airport. We have one off of Scottsdale and 5th, so kind of in the heart of Old Town. First in Washington, just right across from the Suns, where the Suns play, and then obviously Ash.
And I know our friends of the show down in Tucson, we got Sarah Ritchie and Christian Cortez. They're looking forward to the beer down in Tucson. Yeah. And you guys really are going to go almost overnight, you think about it, distribution-wise, to having a very large footprint in Arizona. There's only a few breweries that have that big of a footprint, right?
Yeah, one thing the brewery really benefits from is Cartel Coffee Lab has done pretty much an unprecedented for Phoenix. The quality of beverage they put out on a daily basis is unlike anything that Phoenix has really seen, and we've built a great customer base based upon quality. So with our brewery, we've had a great chance to come in and tap into the same customers that are familiar and respect the name of Cartel, and really have kind of given us a big old bear hug and said, we're going to give you guys we're going to try your beer and we're going to see what you guys can do. And to this point, it couldn't have gone any better. Brewing on a half barrel and having the momentum we have is a dream. And then, opening up our 7-barrel and getting that baby rolling, it's it's been awesome. And
you guys are brewed on a Sabco half barrel system, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's probably home brewers that have a bigger facility than us, and that's kind of the irony of the whole thing is, we've made a decent splash and had a great deal of momentum going forward, off of literally like brewing one keg at a time.
Yeah. The only other brewery that I can think of that runs on a Sabco is Marty Gerhardt over at Al's Orchard. Yeah. And talk about interesting. We could do a whole show on him.
You should have him on. You really should.
We had him on the Weekly Buzz. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This guy runs his brewery, state licensed brewery, out of his garage.
That's awesome.
And he's got a chain link fence. Half of his garage is chain linked off. It says federal taxable area.
Yeah, I've heard about this guy.
Yeah.
Now I know who you're
he's
talking
legendary.
about.
He really is.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you're going from that to 7 barrels, and from what I understand, you got all or some of the system from Mother Road, right?
Yeah. So we have 5 15-barrel fermenters, so we have the ability to brew twice a day, fill those bad boys up. 2 of the 5 15-barrel fermenters came from Mother Road.
Okay.
And those guys. Just a shout out to those guys. Those guys are doing some good stuff.
Yeah, we know Mother Road.
Oh yeah.
Wake up, Duncan. Mother Road.
Oh, yeah, they're great. Of course.
Yeah, no, that was really great. They totally hooked us up with those tanks, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and Dan Chenier, great friend of the show. So, tell us a little bit about what sets you guys apart and what you're doing with your beer.
I think one thing that's interesting, I know earlier in the show you were talking about flagship beers.
Right.
Per se, you could maybe say our Desert Pale Ale is our flagship beer.
Well, you're going to have to declare one if you want to be rated in the DrinkinAZ.
Well.
Or we'll declare one for you.
No, now you're putting me in a bind right now. No, one thing we really tried to do is Matt Johnson, our head brewer, had a little headway lead time into before he took over head brewing over at Cartel. So what we tried to do is, what he specifically did is created 4 beers, or what we call our core 4. So it's our Desert Pale Ale, our Coffee Brown, our Amber Rye, and the infamous or famous, whatever you want, Fight 'em. 5 years in the making, or people have... Or something in the mouth. I don't know. I didn't say that, but all that to say
you crazy college kids.
You crazy college kids. That's
Jeez.
right. No, at the end of the day, we came out with 4. And actually, my favorite beer of them all is our Amber Rye.
Really?
Oh yeah, I love that beer. I think it's unbelievable.
Now, do they go easy on the rye?
Easy on the rye, baby.
Easy on the rye. Too much rye is not a good thing.
No. Too much rye in the eye is not a good thing.
Yeah.
That is for damn sure.
Is that a sexual innuendo that I'm not aware of?
The wife says I'm easy.
I'm sure we can make it one.
I don't know.
Hey, if we want to start a new tagline,
there's a new.
We could start it here tonight.
I think every show we've had for the last 3 or 4 shows running has caught me looking old, with some saying.
Caught you with your pants down?
Yeah. Well, that's why I bring Ken in, because we can talk about Frozen.
Oh yeah.
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 Okay, so your favorite is the
Amber Rye.
Amber Rye.
And I would say out of the the core 4 that we try and push first and foremost, it's call it the redheaded stepchild. I think it's appropriate for the Amber Rye.
That's a great name.
So I love that beer, and we actually have it up at the Blanco up in Biltmore, and it's doing pretty well for us up there.
Nice.
They run it as a seasonal, and it's selling pretty well for a specific seasonal.
Now, for my friends in Tucson, how many taps are you going to be running?
So unfortunately for your buddies in Tucson, we only have our Desert Pale Ale down there right now.
What about once you get? Because you still got to get this big system fired up, right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. We've hit a few roadblocks here and there. But that, we're hoping that system will be up here in the next couple of weeks. And I feel like we've been saying weeks for a while, but this is like the real, hey, it's about to go.
Shit's getting real?
Shit's getting real.
Okay.
Shit's getting real.
Stick it to the man. That's all I have to say.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we're all about over at Cartel.
Right.
You're
being nice to him now, but then you'll say it after.
Exactly. As soon as they give us our green tag, hey.
Yeah.
The next couple words anybody else can follow up.
They can fight. They can fight him in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a great process, and it's something where if you learn all the intricate details now, you'll get the benefit when you build another facility. And we try to be severe optimists in all situations. So we're learning everything we can, making every connection we can. And, hopefully we'll have the opportunity to jump from 7-barrel to a bigger system one day. And when that comes, we'll definitely be the experts in town and who to call, You know, follow the laws and, you know, make sure it goes seamless. And instead of saying, hey, we're going to open in 6 months, open in 4 months.
Right.
You know, beat the schedule. And that's what we're all about is, hey, you know, we're Arizona born. All of us are, you know, pretty much local.
Are you a native?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, fist pump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
ASU?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say that.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what we're all about is, you know, bringing it home, bringing a little culture, bringing a little pride to Arizona and saying that, you know, we can do both. We can do coffee and we can do beer just as good as our coffee is.
Now, what do you think about has anybody else said it's kind of odd that you walk into a coffee shop and you got, you know, a bunch of college students on their laptops doing homework and it smells like coffee, and then to introduce beer into that equation? First of all, you're going to get, once you have that 7-barrel system up and running, you're going to get some strange aromas. The blend between the two.
As much as I love the coffee smell in the morning when it's roasting, I don't think that there's anything, literally any better smell in the world than, you know, a mash. Come on.
Right.
It's sweet, it's savory.
I agree.
My wife would disagree, but she's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, not to say, you know, battle of the sexes, but come on.
Take my wife, please.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, and getting the two parties to agree is, you know, there are some challenges there for sure, but at the end of the day, it's.
Have you had any negative feedback? Like, I'm not going to come in here if you're going to be a bar because this is where I want to do my homework.
You know, surprisingly, the feedback that we get more times than not is, hey, this is really cool what you're doing with the beer. Why don't you make it feel more like a bar on the other half of the place? And it's almost an encouragement. It's almost, hey, we like what you're doing here. We know how Cartel works as a company. It's not like we're going to put ESPN up in the corner. Mm-hmm. That's just not our brand as of now.
Can't be everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, making people feel comfortable to drink coffee in the morning, but also making people feel comfortable to drink a beer is an idea that we're working towards. But you know, every step that we've gotten affirmation from our customers, and that's really all that matters. If they're liking the beer and they're liking the coffee and they like the way it feels and they've been coming here for the last 6 years, shit, I got no complaints as long as they're happy.
Duncan and I went in there and had some mochas for lunch. We were looking for you one day. We couldn't find you. And we talked to Chad.
Oh, yeah. Chad.
Chad
with that magnificent beard of his?
Yeah, gave us a little tour. And we were in there sporting our 40-year-old beer bellies and checking out the ASU hotties.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Great location.
Yeah, I actually
Sounds
really love it
magnificent.
there. Matter of fact, I thought the show was going to be there tonight, and because I get lost.
Freaking Duncan, yeah.
And but I was there, and I'm like,
it's not like I haven't spent any time with you over the last week.
No, I know, but I was there, and I'm like, hey, where are we going to set up? But there's a lot of cute girls here, so maybe this wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Well, it can definitely be intimidating, that's for damn sure. So, you know, be careful where you go. But, you know, all that to say is once we get that 7-barrel rolling and,
we'll be getting those hotties drunk.
You know, you guys, hey, you two hotties to my left and to my right, you guys are more than welcome to come and set up this podcast in there. You know,
can you put Frozen on the screen for us, though?
Oh, yeah. No, you know, so the best part about this whole thing is I kind of get your joke. Dave, one of our owners, the owner of the brewery, he's got 2 little guys, and Dave is my brother-in-law.
Right.
You know, so I babysit and I hang out with them all the time, but, you know, those damn kids can watch Nemo 40 times in a day.
Right.
I mean, that movie's 2 hours long, but somehow they watch it 48 times.
There's something about the psychology of kids where it soothes their brain to watch the same thing over and over and over again.
I mean, I get the same way when I watch the Red Sox, so I can relate.
So for like,
was that you jumping on the bandwagon?
50
or was
years.
that
No, I'm from New England.
So
okay,
for
I'll take
for
that.
the
That's
50 years of losing, then it must have been very soothing to get that over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. The 3 trophies in the last 6 years or 7 years. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not going to do the trash talk thing. That didn't go too well last week. All right, so we are coming to the end of this segment. We're going to be right back with Dylan DeMiguel from Cartel Coffee Labs and Cartel Brewing. You're listening to DrinkinAZ.
This is Dunk from the Dunk Tank here at DrinkinAZ, and tonight I want to tell you about Blackstone Limousine. Their cars are beautiful. They have a Lincoln Town car and a Ford Excursion which seats 10 passenger. Huge sound systems, CDs, DVDs, and iPod hookups. Their services are amazing. For all occasions, So if you're a bachelor, bachelorette, birthday, weddings, proms, night outs, bar hopping, anything you need, you can contact Blackstone Limousine. Call Chris at 480-229-6954, and you can see them on the web at www.blackstonelimousinellc.com. So ladies, get your man to take you in a Blackstone limousine today.
And we're back at Taste the Tops, DrinkinAZ. All right, so Dylan,
Yes, sir.
we had the privilege to taste your coffee. Was it Coffee Brown?
Yeah, Coffee Brown.
Tell us about that beer. We had it a little while ago.
Okay, so Coffee Brown, I guess I'll try and shorten it as much as possible,
Okay.
But give as much as detail as possible. So obviously, as you know, Cartel started out 7 years ago as a single origin coffee roastery. And with that, the flavor profile that Paul Hayworth, our wonderful expertise mastermind behind the coffee bean, he prefers a light roast, and it brings a lot of flavor out of the coffee. It's more true to the bean, the coffee bean itself is his paradigm, and I couldn't agree any more with it. So even to that extent, what we wanted to do with the Coffee Brown is go with the lightest, darkest beer possible, and that happened to be a nut brown.
The lightest, darkest beer possible.
Yeah.
Okay, I just make sure we're tracking here.
Oh yeah, no, us beer nerds gotta stay focused.
Right.
Get sidetracked easily. I'm totally right there with you. But that specifically going with the lighter roast, going with the lightest, darkest beer possible, was kind of marrying the coffee and beer together, saying, you know what, we really want to come out with a coffee beer, not to just come out with a coffee beer, but a coffee beer that Cartel will be proud of. I mean, something that, hey, we're different.
Most people do a coffee porter.
Right. Coffee
I think
stout,
that would be your
coffee
first
porter.
Yeah, your first instinct would be to go with a porter or a stout and just slam it at the end with a bunch of coffee. Call it good.
And to be completely honest, I think that's a lot of times where our coffee fans are won over is, man, nobody does a light roast like we do in Arizona. And even around the country, it's a little bit more rare. So
I've had your mocha, but that's a lunchtime thing for me.
It's delicious
right?
I
I haven't. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't had your regular coffee. I'm gonna have to come in and try it.
That one's on me. You come in.
Okay.
That one's on me. Anybody here?
Oh.
Anybody on the Knights of the Round Table?
I'll be there.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
I love black coffee.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
only way to drink it.
Yeah.
When you have a good cup of black coffee, there's no going back, honestly. And I think that's where we win a lot.
There's a saying about that, I think, isn't
That's
there?
right. Once you go black, you don't go back.
I like my
You know what?
my coffee like my women, cold, dark, and bitter.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
To each his own. To each his own. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, nothing like a black cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
I drink
I
iced
agree.
coffee too.
Oh yeah. Come
Like
check out our cold brew. You want to know something really
8
cool?
months of the year I drink iced coffee.
Hey, you want to know the best thing is we have our cold brew coffee now running on nitro at bars.
No shit.
Oh, wow.
No shit. That's my baby. And beer is my baby. and I'm just-
Cold brewed coffee running on nitro?
yeah, it's amazing.
You're talking like
Like we run all of our kegs on 13.2 euro kegs.
yeah?
We run the same program with our cold brew coffee, which is our most popular drink, and we run
So
it through kegs.
if I swing, you know what you need to, I'm going to take you up. I'm going to be
Be an asshole right
I'm
now.
going to be a
and
whore about the whole thing.
Do it.
If you write that down on one of your business cards that I get a free cup, I'm going to get up extra early and go by Cartel in the morning and get a cup.
Oh yeah. And if they give you shit, you can call me at 6 in the morning, and I will call the barista and say, "Hey, it's free for George and all of his friends."
And I'll tell him I will tear this place apart.
Don't
You
get
don't
a
give
beer
me
guy
my
mad.
coffee.
That's rule number 1.
That's right. Especially in the morning.
And that's not to sidetrack it, but that's something we're really excited about.
Yeah.
Hell, if there's bar owners, restaurant owners, let me know. 602-717-4237. Call me about it.
Right?
And that's. Yeah,
Are
that's
you an industry hang? Is Cartel kind of an industry hang for people in the restaurant business and stuff like that?
I would say yeah. I think
Yeah?
that in the industry world, those are most of our customers. And it's funny,
That and the students.
Yeah, students. And, the cool thing, my favorite thing to see in Cartel is the guy who comes in a $3,000 Armani suit, sits down and has a cup of coffee in the grungiest coffee place in town, meaning that your cup of coffee is going to be the best you've ever had, but you're going to sit next to a guy with dreadlocks,
And
and
smell
somebody's
like
going to have their
patchouli.
dog to your right, and somebody, we don't wear shirts. I mean, I'm wearing a Cartel shirt now, but those are the only beer guys. Our coffee people just dress like normal people, and I think that's the enjoyment.
So we're not
of
worried
it.
about chest hair getting in the coffee.
Oh no, the more the
They wear
merrier.
shirts.
Come on.
You said they don't wear shirts. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So awesome. So back to the beer.
Back to the beer.
I know you're getting passionate. You got a lot to get passionate about, and that's really great that you work for a place where you have a lot to get passionate
It's
about.
fun.
The coffee brown, I think everybody here liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah, definitely excellent.
Definitely a little bit different than
it is. It's like I told you before. I mean, to me, it was one of the most pure, I think, authentic coffee flavors. It tasted like black coffee. Most of it's kind of has a hint
I
of
think
coffee. It has that coffee, almost like your coffee beans in your mouth.
It's like it's dry hopped with coffee.
It basically, that's what it tastes like.
Yeah. The coffee replaces the hops on the finish of the flavor.
No, it was excellent. It was really good.
Well, thank you.
Loved it.
And that's a shout out to Matt Johnson, our head brewer. He's that was one of his best creations. I mean, the guy's a freaking genius, and he'll be so humble about it every 10 days out of 7 days out of the week.
And and who was going to be here tonight and couldn't make it?
So David Arntz couldn't be here tonight. He's he's one of our owners. He oversees the brewery. It's kind of his brainchild and definitely his baby.
Okay.
And what he's doing and his management style and everything is definitely helped the brand quite a bit on the beer side.
Okay, well, Duncan and I will come in soon and look for a free cup of coffee and a handshake with Dave.
Oh yeah, maybe get a couple beers along the way if you're not careful.
Well, yeah, we don't work. We work for the man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can't drink it during lunch, but soon, very soon, that may all change. Tell us about what we're drinking now, and is this your flagship or is this just your assumed flagship? You're not going to go on the record.
Let's call it our assumed flagship based upon production right now.
Okay.
This is our Desert Pale Ale. Did a big brew of this. We got we did a big contract brew over at Huss. And, what we got going on here is our Desert Pale Ale is let's call it a hop-forward American Pale Ale.
Uh-huh.
So one kind of cool marketing strategy with this beer that we don't specifically write about, this is technically an organic beer.
Really?
Everything that is made in this beer specifically is organic. All the grain, all of the hops are of the finest quality that we could find. It's brewed with natural agave sweetener, where we get the Desert Pale Ale, kind of a play on words.
Okay.
Trying to do something creative there, as opposed to your standard brewing of dextrose.
Okay.
As George, you're familiar with that, the dextrose sugars and whatnot. Based upon production going into the summer, IPAs, hop-forward American Pales, something that is very popular right now. We've had a lot of success. Taco Guild, 7th Street in Osborne, one of our first restaurants that really gave us a big chance and a big break. This is their number one selling beer there.
Really?
We love Four Peaks and everything, but this has been, I think we're on 14 weeks in a row of beating out Kilt Lifter, and that's Arizona's beer.
Nice.
Kilt Lifter is Arizona's beer.
Kudos.
And it's a small victories in life that you gotta hold your hat on, and that's one that we're really proud of.
Well, we're going to find out when DrinkinAZ and Dennis Mitchell, in conjunction with Dennis Mitchell, we do our flagship rating, what the beer of Arizona is.
Oh yeah.
It might be you guys.
Well,
Might be Kilt Lifter.
if we could even be in that conversation, we'd be totally stoked.
Oh, you'll
And
be
if
there.
If we win, thank you very much. We're happy to be here.
It's going to be like the tournament. It's going to be like March Madness. I mean, you're going to be worst to first. It's going to all be there for the world to see.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's the fun thing about the whole thing is if you can sit back, relax, and enjoy one of our beers and say, hey, this is a great beer. I enjoy it. Man, there's nothing better. Being the sales guy of the company, trying to represent the genius of Matt Johnson and Chad McClelland, and working under a guy like Dave Arntz and Jason Silverslog, who give you a lot of guidance. There's nothing better to go in a restaurant and say, hey, your beers, people like your beers. Like that's a compliment to me, and I just hope to pass that on to the people that actually made it. I'm just the guy who goes out and says, hey, you want to buy a keg from me? You know what I'm saying?
You don't have a kidnapper van, do you?
Not yet.
Okay.
But maybe one day. I mean, hey, opportunities. You never know.
A kidnapper van?
Well, hey, you want to buy a keg?
He's probably tying the cartel.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Okay.
Cartel
Come here.
and
Yeah.
and they don't sell cocaine either.
No.
Sorry.
I just picture
That's
people
off
like
the menu, boys.
Like white
that
linen
one's off the
suits with
menu.
a fedora. That's what I'm picturing everyone working there.
Hey, come buy my keg. Come here.
That's your mafia voice?
We do a lot of
voice.
That's pretty good.
import, export. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's my real title. Import,
Sanitation.
export.
You know what coffee's used for in the drug world is to hide the smell of the drugs, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so the dogs can't smell it.
Yeah.
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 That's the,
All right.
That's a good disguise there, boys.
All right, and we're almost about ready to wrap it up here. Did you have anything else, any shout-outs, anything else you wanted to say, Dylan, before we get going?
You know, I think last thing I would like to say is, DrinkinAZ is exactly what we are as craft beer. It's unique, it's itself, it's homegrown, and it's what you want to be. And, man, thanks for having me on. And any other time, we'd love to have you in the shop.
Awesome.
Give you a cup of coffee, give you a couple beers, hopefully have a show in there one day. But, I think it's cool that it's coming back to local. I think that's something that's really important. Build a little culture here in Arizona, specifically Phoenix. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring it home. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
I really appreciate it. And, for myself as a young guy trying to make it in an old guy's world, it's thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome. These young whippersnappers. Hey, young whippersnappers.
So let me tell you guys, in closing, how I met Dylan at the Strong Beer Festival. I just freaking walked up to him and shook his hand and introduced myself. And we've, been talking ever since. And he's that approachable. And Cartel is that kind of a company, I think, where everybody's approachable. And that's what local is all about, And so I really want to thank you for coming on. Zara, I want to thank you for guest hosting
Thank you.
again. And Dunk,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. And we'll look forward to talking to you next time on DrinkinAZ.
Hey, thank you very much, guys.
All right, take care.